Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Stroke. I am your host, stroke survivor Jerry Wall. And for you new viewers that don't know what we do here, I started doing this show about several years ago to spread awareness about stroke, TBI, aphasia, basically brain injury in a nutshell, and also to provide a platform for all survivors to share their journeys from across the world and to show you that you're not alone and we totally understand. So my guest this morning is from all the way from Ireland, and we're going to go over her story and share her journey. And please share this, what we're doing, as there's a lot of people around the world that are going through some difficult times. So please make comments, and we'll introduce Delia in just a few seconds here. So hang on.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and bring on our guest. Good morning or afternoon.
Good morning, Jerry. Nice to be here.
Good to have you. And by the way, it's your birthday, and happy birthday.
Thank you. And I'm blessed again to be here. I'm second chances, and it's wonderful. I'm very blessed and grateful to be here. Thank you, sir.
I completely agree. So I'm not sure if you can see the comments, but there's quite a few people. Usually when you're on your phone, you can't see them. I don't know if you can, if I bring them up right now, and then we'll get into your story here. Kimmy
Okay.
Burton, good morning, good afternoon. People all over the world are here watching. And but anyway, if we rewind the clock, and
Yes.
I don't want to butcher your name, Delia?
Yes. Yeah. Very good. Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. So who were you before your injury?
I was a mother, a grandmother. I was a care worker. I was a person involved in the community. I was very active. Loved going dancing, and our football. We loved. We had a very social life. So I was very active and involved in the community and lived life to the full, really.
Yes, that's terrific. And you were diagnosed with pretty much a rare RCVS. That's you probably
Yes.
explain it better than I can, obviously.
Well, truthfully now, I thought to say my explanation, because I didn't understand it either until I was well in recovery. And that's when my family tried to explain it to me, because it is a very rare type of a syndrome. And seemingly, I had it all my life, but I didn't know about it. And then that on this occasion, it hit me. So I'm very lucky that at the stage of my life that it did hit me, that it didn't hit me when I was younger, when I was a young mother or anything else. So I am very blessed. But seemingly it is, as I said, very rare. And what happens is, I thought my question, because I would have worked with people with having seizures, and I asked, well, did I have a seizure? So I was explained that I didn't have the physical seizure, but I was having was seizures in my head, in my brain. My brain was sort of, having the seizures, basically. As I said, I still don't understand a lot of it. I'm very lucky to be here. I'm told that I was just one in what let's say that had lived. A lot of people haven't lived through it. We'll say the way it started with me was we were on holidays, all the family. We were 40 years married, and we went to Spain on our holidays, and we were just home, and I didn't feel great. I thought it was like maybe a cold or a flu coming on or something, and I said, because I felt a bit of a sore throat. So I said, I better see my doctor, because I didn't want to be taking time off work, and I just back. So I had made an appointment on that day to see the doctor. So I carried on back to work, and on that day I wasn't feeling great. Now I did have a bit of a mishap at work where folder fell out of the press and hit me there on the forehead. But after that I got a bit disorientated, and I would have left work earlier to go to the doctor. So went up to the doctor, and the doctor took my blood pressure because there'd be a big history of heart in my family. So he took my blood pressure and he said, your blood pressure is perfect, Delia. He said, it's all stressed out you are, because my husband was going through, he has a blood cancer. I can't remember the name of it at the minute, but so he had only been, before we went on holidays, we had to get permission to go with him on the holidays. So it was just all coming together. So he thought it was stress, and he took my blood pressure. My blood pressure was fine. I went to stand up and my leg went to go from under me. So he said, I need to call Pádraig for you. He said, I can't let you out like that. He thought I was walking. And I said, well, Pádraig is actually outside. So he walked me out to the car to Pádraig, and we came home, and Pádraig went back to work, and he just works near enough here. So he went back to work and I was here, and that's the pain in the head. I was disorientated when I went into the doctor, but where I had wanted to tell him about being disorientated, I couldn't remember it. My memory at that stage had started to go. So anyway, I was home and I started getting these, it's hard to say they're pains. It was like if we had eaten an ice pop or a lump of ice, and it would shoot up into your brain. It was those type of pains, I suppose I call them for an easier word. So that was happening. I was taking some paracetamol to see would it help it, and it wouldn't. And my daughter got a cold flannel and put it around my head, which seemed to ease it off a bit for me. But later on, Pádraig was home and I got another one, and it was so bad I'd hold my head. And Pádraig said, that's more than stress, Delia, he said. So he brought me to the local hospital here, which would be Castlebar. That would be about 16 miles, I think. No, Galway 16. I'm trying to remember here. I have a few notes because my head is not all in it, as we say. Castlebar, yeah, will be 16 miles from here, 16 miles, yeah. And brought me to there, and it will be one of the smaller hospitals. So it doesn't have a neurologist in it, and it doesn't have a cardiologist there either. So they would be working, I suppose, on information from other hospitals. But they thought it was migraine that I had, and they asked me, did I ever have migraine before? And I never had migraine before. I'd never suffered from migraine. I would have had, leaving the house here with Pádraig, I can remember that, getting in the car. I can remember getting, a part of the way I can't remember, but then I remember maybe coming through again, and I remember seeing a particular garage and saying, oh, I'm nearly in Castlebar, I'll be okay. But I can't remember going into the hospital with Pádraig. I can't remember my time in the hospital. Seemingly they let me home on a day. They let me home after, I think that was of a Thursday or something. I could be taken up on days here now, but it was a couple of days I was in, and they let me home. And they let me home on medication, basically, for migraine. I was no sooner home when it started again, and they brought me back into the hospital again. I was in the hospital, I think it was about 2, if not 3 weeks, 2 weeks anyway, in Castlebar. But my family could see me going down, and they were asking, did I have a stroke? Because they said they could see my face, they thought, and my leg, they thought they could see.
How long was that? How long from the start, when the book or the folder hit you in the head?
Oh, that would have been all within a fortnight. Yes. So I was in the hospital then, I think it was a fortnight I was in Castlebar, And my family could see me, as I said, going down. And they were asking about, did I have different, did I have MRIs and did I have, you know, different scans and all that. And seemingly it was hard enough to get answers, I suppose. A lot of medical people don't feel that, you know, family need to know a lot, but I'm afraid it was the wrong family that, you know, because my family would be very, very, and I'm lucky that I'm here, all due to them. But my daughter, anyway, was talking to a medical person and she said, why would you not bring her to Galway? So Galway would be more, we say, more facilities and more everything really in Galway.
Yes.
So they brought me to Galway, and Galway is 22 miles up the road. So they brought me to Galway. I walked into Galway. Seemingly, you know, this again, I can't remember any of this. I can't remember the journey from Castlebar to Galway. Seemingly, I had a stroke in the ambulance on the way to Galway. Seemingly, while I was in Galway, I had another stroke, if not two, I think, in Galway. And then they moved me from Galway to Beaumont. Now, Beaumont is in Dublin, which is our capital city. And that's 160 miles away. So, and they have all the professional, well, they're all professional in their own way, but
Sure.
they had, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, what's the word I'm looking for? They'd be more professional. What would the word be I'm looking for? They'd be experts, I suppose, in
all
their
the
field.
specialties.
Yes, they'd have all the specialties, exactly, yeah. So I was very lucky there. I can't remember my time there. My family tell me that the hospital, that they were all just so good. I was in another world there. I can, what will I say? I call it another world because I thought people were killing me, and I thought people were trying to kill my family, and there was clowns coming into it, and I was terrified. I was so fearful, and I was terrified, and as I said, I can't remember any of it till the last night before I was supposed to be going back to Galway. This is after 3 weeks, and I was finally had come around. They had to make up a specific medication for me that I had to take every 3 hours to keep the, what call it in my brains open, the vascular, to keep that, you know, not from closing. So anyway, they got on top of it. They really, as I said, saved my life as well as my family, that they were so much on top of everything. And after 3 weeks up there, I was ready to come back to Galway. So the day I was to come back to Galway, Galway didn't have a bed for me. So I had to wait an extra night in the Beaumont.
Wow.
And so Pádraig, my husband, he has, we say, asked me 20 years ago, and I wouldn't have said this, but he is just, you know, we're 45 years married now, but he is just, to me, a saint. He's something else. We had a mobile home, and not a mobile home, but a motor camper, a camper.
Yes.
And we loved our camper. We went, you know, we used that a lot as well, and we loved it. And he drove that up to Dublin, and he used to park in the car park, and he'd have to go out putting in the money and all that type of thing. But then there was one of the nurses there. She actually went to school with my daughter, and she'd be from town here, and she organised a parking area for him that he didn't have to be paying all the time.
Right.
We found people so very nice. There was also another girl from the area, and they were just so very good. But as I said, a lot of that I can't remember. But back down to Galway anyway, finally got back down to Galway. But seemingly they had been telling me that I had a stroke, and I just didn't let it sink in. We say then seemingly they were taking me out of the bed. I needed to go to the bathroom, and I wanted to go to the bathroom, and they were trying to explain to me that I couldn't go to the bathroom, that I would have to use the pan. and seemingly, which I wouldn't normally be, but I was determined I wasn't going to use a pen.
Right.
So they brought in the commode to me, and seemingly they put me on the commode, and now my family tell me this again, I can't remember. I insisted I was okay to sit there myself.
Yeah.
And the staff left me, and so I fell right out on my face. So the left side of my face, when my family came again, was completely black. So I still didn't learn from that. Like in life, most things I had to learn the hard way, but I didn't learn from that. It wasn't until the night before I went to Galway that I was in this particular ward. They took me out. Until then, I was in the, I went from the, what you call it, the intensive care into the next ward, you know, where they still keep an eye on you, but you're not as in intensive care. So I was still in that. So they brought me from that and I went down into a different ward. And there was a lot of women there, and they were doing a lot of shouting. There was one lady, and she was going to kill me. She said I'd taken her husband and whatnot, and you know, but the nurse said, don't mind her. She said, that lady had a stroke. She said, and explaining to me. And it was at that time that it hit my head. This is what my family are trying to tell me. This woman was in a different place as well, you know. So I began to understand a bit more. But the following day, anyway, I was back to Galway. And once I got back to Galway, it was wonderful because my family, my husband could go home to his own bed, well, our bed, and they could travel up and down to see me. And it was just wonderful to get back to Galway. And from then I really thrived. I was in the main hospital for, I suppose, 2 weeks. And after that 2 weeks, I went into the rehab. And I think I was 3 to 4 weeks in the rehab. In all, it was 6 months I was in hospital. But like that, you know, my main thing is, we say for people talks about strokes, and you know, now I was in my 60s, and the fact that I was in my 60s, they put you into an older person's group, and only for my family stood up and said, you don't know, ma'am. I suppose until then, really, until I had my strokes, I never felt my age. I was up and going. In my head, I was a 40-year-old. You know, as I said, living life to the full and all the rest. But it was such a simple thing, as I said, a pain in your head that nobody would ever think. Like we say, we all associate stroke with the FAST. Have I that right, Jerry? FAST.
Yeah, fast.
Yeah, fast. Yeah, and everybody associates stroke with that. Sure. And but like, it's not. You don't always have those signs. That you need to, basically, if you have something or if you're not feeling well, you need to get it checked out, because if it's not stroke, it could very well be something else, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But like that, as we say, the stroke took my left side. I'm very lucky now. I have my left hand back. Wonderful. I still haven't got my walking back. I walk with a stick, so I'm grateful to be able to do that. When I came home, my home was completely changed, because there's aids every place, aids on the front door, aids in the bathroom. At the time, I found it very hard when I was in hospital, especially as I was getting well. I found it very hard not to be able to do the simple things of going to the toilet and washing yourself and those type of things. I found it very hard in hospital that I wasn't able to do those things. But since then I came home, thanks to God, I'm able to shower myself. I'm able to do all those things. I'm very, very lucky, and I've come a long way. My speech was gone at one stage, and my son said, well, God help us if man's speech goes, whatever about anything else. So, you know, thankfully that came back. I'm still have, like that, as most stroke patients, I can't think of the word, or sometimes it won't come out right for me. But look, you know, there's a lot of people like that, and I get over those things. Of course, it affects your emotions as well. My emotions, my tears are gone. I would have been a person that would have cried very easily. I would cry with another person's story. But now I cannot, no tears will come. I still have the feelings in here, but no tears will come.
Yeah.
But other than that, as I said, I'm working on it. I'm working on it every day. And, you know, that's all I can do.
Right. Very true. And you have a great support system, your family, friends.
I have a great support system. I have just a wonderful, wonderful family. It's not until, and I have a wonderful husband that I never knew that I had. The poor creature, yeah. Do you know, thankfully we have always got on and we've always, you know, lived our life. But I'll tell you, it's hard to believe he's the man that he is. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. And he can answer my sentences now, not to mind anything else. He just knows me, you know, so well. But he is just so good. And I pity the people that don't have support, because you need support so badly. But one thing I have found as well, as we say, all your site and other people's, as we say, communicating with people with stroke, I have learned so much from them. Neil Isaac, I think I have his name right. He was one of the first people that I communicated with on the Facebook, and I learned so much from himself. And the way people, I don't have any videos because I'm afraid I'm not, you could see me getting here, had to get help to get on here. I'm not great with the phone and stuff like that. But considering that after my stroke, I was using a phone, I'm trying to think the name of it. It just has 4 numbers on it. And it's a phone that I used to show, what I say, I worked with adults with a disability. And I would have showed people how to work this, where they would have a phone and just so many numbers they could use. So here I am, I can't remember the name of it, but here I am. This is the phone that I had to use then at this stage. But I'm back, as I said, using a Samsung big phone now and all the rest, but I still haven't all the buttons off. Sometimes I can press the wrong button. At the beginning, after my stroke, where I thought I was doing right, I'd be texting, and sure, it would be all X's I could be doing, you know, but I've come a long way from that. I went to Crest. Crest is for brain injury, and that's in Galway and in Mayo. And they, again, their staff and everybody there were so helpful, and I've made a lot of friends, because really it's like anything in life, until you walk in somebody else's shoes, you know, it's the only way you understand. And there I met a lot of people, either stroke or car injuries, or even somebody where they just fell backwards after a few drinks, you know. So, you know, there's a lot of different cases out there. And like that, as I said, you don't know them until you meet people.
Yeah.
But, you know,
So
but
true.
as I said, yeah, but I'm very grateful, as I said, and I'm very grateful for my family and for my husband and for my friends. They're all so good. All have been so what's the word I'm looking for? Supportive, and everything to me.
Yeah.
You know.
How's your emotional now after the stroke? Because I know we all know.
My emotions are very. They're not as they would be. Like today, I am very happy. I have got, we say, the family again have me as always spoiled. I had my nieces here this morning, and I'm filled with flowers and
happy birthday,
balloons and all the rest. And yet, as I said, where I haven't got that, you know, one time you'd be dancing around the place, but I don't have that bit of a jizz, as we'll say, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at, as I said, I'm here and I'm doing the best, you know, that I can. And I really appreciate, as I said, the fact I'm here. When I had my strokes, I had 12 grandchildren.
Yes.
And excuse me, and I have 10 grandchildren, and I have 12 now. And
wow.
those are two children, we said that well, we didn't even expect they would be here, not to mind me meeting them. But one of those grandchildren, we say that I had in the 10th grandchild, he'd have been the youngest. I can remember one day in Galway, and my son brought him with him in to visit me. And I remember crying so much that day when they left, because I thought I would not see him grow up. And not to mind to see him grow up, He's out there playing football now, and a proper little boy, God bless him. But we have 2 other grandchildren and 2 other beautiful little grandchildren. But one of them, my daughter at the time was after having an ectopic pregnancy. So really they advised her not to have any more, but she was dead to have a baby girl. And even though we'd say to her, we'll show you have 2 beautiful boys, you have enough. But anyway, we say unknown to me, because they didn't want me to be worried. She wanted to go ahead and, to get pregnant again.
Right.
But seemingly one day I said to my son, that's my youngest son, even though he's a grown man, but he's my baby. But one day I said to him when he came into me in Galway, I said, did tell you, my Katharina, it was my daughter, did she tell you her good news? And he said, no. He said, what? I said, she's expecting. I said, and she's expecting a baby girl. Oh, he said, she never said. But sure, she didn't know herself, the poor creature, because it hadn't even happened at the time. I also said to him the same day, I don't know what conversation we were having, because I cannot remember this conversation. I said to him that he would have his own business and that he would make a success of it. And he has done that. He has gone back, he's gone to train to be a dog groomer, and he has done that, and has his business opened here beside us in the house, and it's great. And we're lucky to have him so close and near. And look at us, I said, I am just so blessed.
Yes, you are.
Sometimes it's awful to think, but when we're in our health, we don't appreciate what we have. And I don't think any of us ever appreciate what we have until we lose it. It's like anything, So, so as I said, I am very, very lucky. And as I said, I know I'm saying I'm blessed again, but I am. I'm so blessed, and I'm so grateful to be here and to have the family and friends and everybody that I have around me, workmates. And, I worked in this one area for 25 years. I had to leave work. I had 1 more year to do, but I had to leave work. I didn't want to leave work, but I was no help to anybody. I had to be help to myself. So when I decided I was going to give in my retirement, look for retirement, I had to look for the retirement. I said, right, here I am. I have put everything else into everybody else. Here now it's time to put it into myself. So what I find is there's a lot of stuff that I would have done with people over the years, that I would have been helping people, that simple things like try again, and simple things, as we say, encouragement in myself and trying things. And excuse me, we say a simple thing like the shower. When I was started being able to shower myself, and we say up till then, people would be helping you with the shower, and they'd be giving you a towel when you'd be in hospital. But when you weren't really able to manage it with your left hand, the towel would always end up falling. Yeah. And it used to, I'm afraid I was never great, that way. But when I came home here, anyway, as I said, and I got the kids to cut a hole like a poncho in a towel for myself. And I said, we'll see how this will work. It works wonderful. So I got some med sense. But just that when I'm in the shower and finished, I can fire this over myself, and then I can sit out and dry myself properly. Right. And it doesn't matter who comes in or out, but at least I'm covered and I feel more comfortable. There's simple things that can be done. And, so a lot of the work that I would have put into other people, I would now be putting into myself, in the sense of medication, writing it down, making sure I have my medication taken, having them. I used to always make sure the people would have got their medication into the blister pack. That's where you get Monday to Friday. So I have got my medication into that now, and that helps me. And as I said, a lot of the stuff that I would have done with other people to help and to support them, I now, as I said, I'm doing it for myself. Again, as we say, when I'm going out, I have to make sure to remind myself to go to the bathroom. Have I got my bits with me in case I need, to tidy myself up or anything like that? So my work, as I said, you could say I'm putting the work into myself now.
Yes.
For years, I was putting it into somebody else, but now I'm putting it into myself.
Yeah.
Other
And
than
that-
that, sorry, Jerry.
no. I was going to ask, but you already answered the question about because you when I do go somewhere, I have to think ahead. You know,
Yes.
what do I have to do? Am I going to trip on something or make sure? I don't know if you wear an AFO.
That's right. I also wear an AFO, and I'm after getting a new AFO, but with an infection in my foot, it has me put back a lot. And I had a nurse here this morning, and she dressed it for me. So I'm hoping now that I have been dressing it myself, and I just need it. I have been to the doctor, and I'm on antibiotics, but I feel now that the nurse, and I'll be going to the nurse again on Friday. So I'm hoping that I get on top of that and to move forward.
Perfect.
You know, because you have to move forward. But like when you're saying, Jerry, about when you're going out someplace, that again will be something that when I would be going and bringing people, I would always have the area sorted before I went. Where are the bathrooms? Where are, you know, and because we say I didn't know, we say which people I'd be bringing with me and what they would need. So I would always have to suss out that. So I do all that for myself now.
Yes.
You know, so as I said, basically I'm working on myself.
Yes.
But the training that I've had through the years, as I said, it has come back to myself. Even in the sense of one thing I'm left with is a bad swallow. I have to be very careful with what I eat, or I couldn't talk in the middle of food or be distracted or anything like that. I find I can choke very easily.
Yes.
So like that, I make sure to just go easy and be very careful with what I eat, because I've seen too many people that I would have worked with in the past that would have had to end up on those drinks and stuff like that. And I certainly wouldn't want that. So I just have to be careful, you know.
Do you do acupuncture?
Yes, I have a lady I go to for acupuncture, and she is just marvelous. I have been going to her ever before I had a stroke. She is she's a lady that retrained as well. She's a Dublin lady, but she lives here in Mayo, and she has been so good. She has been coming to me even while I was in hospital. She used to come to me, and I have an awful lot to thank her for. She does acupuncture, but she does havening is another one. Havening, I think, is what you call it. I mightn't be pronouncing it right now, but I find her very good. But yeah, I'd have great faith in a lot of the therapies, really. I had a niece that used to come to me as well while I was in hospital, and while I was in Dublin, and she used to do the not acupuncture, what do you call it on your feet? I
think I know.
Reflexology.
Yes.
She used to do the reflexology on my feet, and then when I got to the Galway hospital, there was a lady in there, and she was doing it on a lady one day. So I asked her how much it would be, and she said it's free. And I said, free? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, I don't mind paying. And she said, no, she said, it's free. CRE is an organisation here in the rest of Ireland that is help and support people with heart disease and stroke. And I'd be a member of that. But anyway, she did my feet that day. Well, I asked the neurologist, I said, is it okay to get it done? He said, once they don't go near your head. He was very funny. And he said, once they don't go near your head. So I had that done, and it was great. So she explained to me how CRE, it was a support that was coming in. The CRE was supporting this lady coming in doing acupuncture. And it was great, not acupuncture, reflexology. But then I went down to the rehab, which was still on the same in Galway, but there was no reflexology there because I would have asked for it. And they said, well, nobody ever asked for it before. And I said, well, it's a great, it's a great service. I said, do you think, could I get it? And they said, well, if they want to come, let them, you know. So I wrote to CRE anyway, and they allowed, Penny was her name, a lovely lady, and we got the reflexology into the Galway for the rehab. I can't remember a thing, but what did I call it a minute ago? It'll come to me again, but it was in there for the rehab anyway, so it's in there, and it was great because there'd be a lot of people. While I was in rehab, I couldn't wait till the morning to get up and get out and get into my the rehab. But there'd be a lot of people, the poor creatures, and they wouldn't be able to get up. They wouldn't want to be getting up. So I thought to myself, well, even for people that don't get up, if they were getting the reflexology, it would help their feet. You know, it would help them circulation and everything in their feet. So that was a great thing. I was delighted to be able to get that done. It was a nice thing to leave behind me, as we say. So I hope a lot of people benefits from it. But like that, as I said, I find all those natural, I suppose, well, we say they're all therapies now. They're not, you know, this, yeah, you know, I find most of them very good. We say, as I said, in my past life, I would have used a lot of them. But thankfully, as I said, up until all this happened to me, even though I would have had some ailments, I never felt my age. As I said, I always felt like I was 40. But that's gone now. As I said, when you can't wear the high heel shoes, I cannot wear no high heel shoes or anything else. Maybe it'll come yet. I don't know. But it hasn't. You know, so I can't. There's a lot of stuff that I just got rid of. There was a lot of clothes and stuff like that because it just changes your whole life.
Completely.
You know, yes, because as I said, there's a lot of stuff. Now, I was going to say, well, you know, the fact the AFO doesn't affect men as much, but it does, because I was talking to a friend of mine. He didn't have a stroke, but he had a different thing that he has an AFO. He wears an AFO. And he was just telling me that with different pantses and the whole lot and how it does, he feels, you know, it affects him. So it affects everybody, you know, it depends on himself. Everybody, you know, everybody's different.
For sure. Oh, completely. Now, do you take any seizure medicine?
No, I don't. No, I don't take anything for seizures. No, because that was one thing that when I was told that, you know, when I heard epilepsy and that I had a seizure, and I said, where did I have the seizure and what type of the seizure did I have? The fact is, I said that I would have worked with adults with disability. I would have known all about seizures, you know. So they said, so my daughter explained to me then that it wasn't a seizure in the sense of that other people would have, that how it was in the brain and how it was my, what you call it, I used it earlier on, I can't remember it now. My vascular, it was closing down, yes. So basically it was to, you know, so seemingly that is part of that condition, it's the vascular. So I suppose it's just like, you know, to be rare really that, you know, you don't have to have the FSE, you don't have to have those, but sometimes, you know, you just need to be wary really of things that, you know, get everything checked out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always say stroke is not for the weak.
No. Well, I wouldn't have thought, you know, that I would have been as strong as I am. As I said, my worst time really was, and I really do call it the other world that I was in, because my family tells me that stuff I came out with, and, you know, I can't remember it, but I definitely do believe I lost a little girl at 7 months, and I can remember going through, I don't know what it was just, you know, you couldn't see anything in particular, but I could feel my own family, my mother and my sisters around me, but I kept saying, where's baby Ashleen? That's my little girl that I lost. And I couldn't see anybody. But I remember crying out to our Lord, and I said, why, Lord? I always tried to do my best. I was full sure really I was in hell. I said, what have I done? I thought I was gone and that I was in hell. And I said, what did I do that was so bad? And it seemed to have been after that I came around, and from then on things moved forward. But as I said, I'm very, very grateful to be here, and you know, my children and my grandchildren are coming this evening. and I can't wait for them. I can't wait to give them hugs. And I know I haven't had my second injection yet. And my son said to me, "Ma'am, maybe it's a bit early giving them hugs." I said, "No, it's not. I'm giving them hugs."
I don't blame you, especially with all those grandkids. I have 10, you have 12. Wow, just so how's it been with COVID during, you know?
Oh, well, look at, as I said, for me, really, I suppose the fact that I'm sort of, as we say, wouldn't have been going out that much anyway. Like life, as I said, has completely changed for me. I would always have enjoyed a glass of red, and I would have enjoyed a steak. I don't eat meat anymore. I don't take, when I came home, the first Christmas, a few of our friends, we'd always get together for Christmas, and we did that. They came to me that particular Christmas. But I said, I can't take any wine. And they said, why not? I said, because, well, besides the fact of medication, I said, I find it hard enough to get from A to B. And imagine with a glass or two of wine, how I'd be, you know? So,
Exactly.
So I said, look, it's just not worth it. So I haven't taken a drink since, or, you know. And as I said, a lot of foods, I can't eat meat. I'm just gone off it. You know, I just, you know, I love my vegetables and I love all them type of things. But no, my taste, I suppose, for a lot of things are, you know, just not there. You know, as I said, life has changed, but life is good. Life is good. And as I said, I'm very, very grateful to be here. And you can get over those things, you know, a glass of wine is a glass of wine. You know, if you drink enough of water, you can tell yourself it's wine.
Yeah, that's so
You know?
true. Exactly. So what would you tell somebody that's going through a difficult time that just had a stroke or a brain injury or just anything? They're 5 years out, 10 years out, and they're still feeling all down. What could you tell them?
Well,
what would you tell them?
I'm very lucky in the sense of my husband would have went through rehab over 20, I think it's 22 or 23 years ago. And from that, I would have went to, there's awful, I can't think. Al-Anon. Al-Anon would be for their partners, as we say, their wives or their husbands or whatever.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I would have went to that, and a lot of it is on the AA 24 steps, and a lot of it would be, as we say, well, one day at a time. This too shall pass. It is. I remember one time a lady saying at a meeting, she said that she was ever so grateful for her husband getting her there. And I would only have been new into the group, and I thought, well, I can do without being here, you know. Yeah. But through the years, I understood what she meant, because really it is a program for learning. It's, you could say it's the Bible for a lot of people. It's a Bible for a lot of people that are in rehab. And it is a very, very good learning because really everything does pass, you know. Yes. Now, it's easier for some people to say that, the fact that I have a very good, again, structure, as I said, and support system. Yes. I'm so lucky with my husband. You know, he has a great saying. The kids are always, you know, Cotton, we say, what do you think, Dad? The answer will come. When the time is right, the answer will come.
Yes. Nice.
So he has, yeah, he is very positive. And as I said, all the kids, as we say, even though they think, but, you know, they've picked up things through the years. But I have found that very good, as I said. Again, it's live and let live. You know, again, you live yourself, you live your best life. You don't criticize, you know, there's a lot of people out there and they're always looking at other people.
Right.
If we look at ourselves and do the best we can for ourselves and then for other people, you know, it's easier. My mother always brought us up in the sense of, if you can say something nice about a person, don't say anything at all.
Absolutely.
So that was instilled in me from a young age. And, you know, so I've always tried to live like that. I can remember when I was a young child, and my mother came in. It was a Saturday morning, and there was an itinerant girl at the door, and the itinerant girl would have been in the same class as myself. And she brought her in, and she put her sitting at the table, and she put on a boiled egg for her and gave her breakfast. And sure, I was embarrassed because the idea of this girl was in my home and I had to go back to school, you know. But anyway, she went upstairs then and she brought down a red raincoat, which would have been my new red raincoat, but it was gone too small for me. But it would have been the first raincoat that I would ever have got new. Other than that, it was hand-me-downs from my sisters, and or else from the parcel from America. We were grateful for getting the parcel from America. But anyway, my doggy is in. But anyway, she gave her the coat, and when she went to give her the coat, I went crying. And my mother brought me out the back and she said, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "That's my coat, my new coat." And I went crying. And she said, "Delia," she said, "you have a coat." She said, "You're not wearing it. It's up the stairs. If you don't give with a good heart, don't give it all."
Wow.
You know? So that would be the way my mother would have brought us up. And, you know, so that's how, I suppose, really through life, I'd have, you know, tried to live by those morals. Right. And, you know, do the best I can, as I said. But as I said, like that, like a lot of people would have said to me since, "Well, it's not fair, Delia, you've got your, you know, you've got your fear of it now." But then again, do we know? We don't know. We come into this life, we come in with nothing, and we don't know. We're all on a journey. We all have different journeys. We don't know. Some people are millionaires. It doesn't make them happy.
Right.
You know, I'm certainly no millionaire. But I'm, thanks be to God, I've enough to put in my mouth. I always had a good fire, and we got on all right. And as I used to always say to my own kids, don't ever let money hold you back. Right. You know, because you can save or you can pay something off, or you can, you know, and once you pay, it's important you pay, whether it's only a little bit every week, but once you pay. But, you know, so that's, you know, as I said, my motto, the way I live, as I said, and just live in the day. And I wish everybody well. I don't wish anybody this. There's, you know, there's as much goodness in people as there is badness. It's sad to say that there's badness out there, but that is the truth of it. And I find it hard to believe sometimes. But I also believe that there's good in those people as well. But you know, there's good in everybody, but it's, you know, to find it, as we say. You know, that's
wonderful
it, really.
Story. Unbelievable. Well, second chance of life.
Second chance of life, as I said, I am very lucky. And then this Christmas, it was discovered I had breast cancer. So I am just after finishing my chemo, and I'm waiting to go on radiotherapy. So you know, but again, as I said, it's another part of my journey, and I'm getting on with it, and I'm doing well. And again, everybody is just so good, and so, you know, people are so good and so kind, and, you know, I couldn't wish for better neighbours or friends, or, you know, our family, God knows, you know.
I'm proud of you. I think it's an amazing journey that you're on, and the positivity of you is just so, I mean, infectious.
Well, thank you, Jeremy. Well, as I said, I would always have been brought up, as I said, that was what my mother, Lord have mercy on her, would have said to us years ago. You know, as I said, if you can say something nice about someone, don't say anything at all. And another thing she used to say is, you know, sometimes you'll be fighting with your siblings or whatever, and she'd say, don't let each other down. There'll be enough out there to put them down. You know?
That's so true. Absolutely.
Isn't it? Yeah, you know, so you always, so I had, as we say, in the sense of my mother, she'd have been, well, she was, you know, in my eyes, she was a great woman before her time. I don't know whether ye have what you call home help over there in Texas or not, but here before there was this home help here now, but here before there was ever home help. My mother, when I was a child, I used to go to different houses with her. And she used to be washing these older people, and she'd be changing their bandages, and she'd have me sweeping the floor or maybe washing the dishes. Right. You know, so it all comes from learning, really, I suppose, and it all comes from the home, and to be grateful for what you have. Because there's always somebody worse off than yourself.
Absolutely. Very true.
Yeah. So it's good to, you know.
Yes. So anything else that you missed on your story? Because you've covered a lot, and it's really inspiring.
I had a lot of stuff wrote here, but yet I can't. My eyes as well. I have my left side, the emotionally, and I can't cry, and my drop foot, which is a big thing. My eyes then, my eyes then went that I couldn't see. I found the reading very hard. Writing, no problem. Spelling, no problem from the very beginning, but yet the reading. And one day, one of the doctors said to me, he said, "Can I ask you?" He said, "When you go reading," he said, "does the letters jump?" And I said, "They do." And I was so thankful to hear this, because I thought I was going back from where I was in Dublin, that I was beginning to see things. And I was half afraid to say it because I thought I was losing my mind.
Right.
But what would happen is when I would begin to read a sentence, I just say the cow, right, was the first two words.
Right.
Well, I'd say the cow, but by the time I'd have the cow said, that would have moved down to the end of the page. And I'd be looking at this and I'm saying, is this happening? You know, so it was happening all right. It was another condition, part of the stroke, but that has settled now and my eyes have settled. But I still find where I loved reading, I'm not able to read as much. I could start a book. I've started a lot of books. I've started a lot of books on stroke. I get so far and I go back again. When I leave it, when I get tired, I find it hard to go back again because I have to start again at the beginning. Yeah. And then you have to go again. But hopefully, you know, I'm looking that it'll all get better, that it'll improve every day, you know. And right. I've enough to keep me going at this stage. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Can you think of anything, Jerry, you want to ask me? Because as I said, I went ranting away there, as we say, talking, and
oh no, I mean, I think we kind of covered everything, because it started with nausea and headaches for the
yes.
most part, and
yes,
and that and it's amazing. There's so many people that happens to them. They have these migraines, and the doctor sends them and say, take the migraine medicine and see you later. Yeah. And find out you had 4 strokes.
Yes, I had 4 strokes. Yes, yeah. So as I said, I am very, very lucky, and I know it, and I'm just so grateful, and I'm so grateful to the hospitals and the staff and all the rest. As I said, mostly it's the staff in Galway I can remember. I can't remember the other people, but my family tell me that, especially in Beaumont, they tell me that there was something else, that they were really, really good. But I'm sure all the other staff were too, because I met one person in all my journey that I don't even want to think about her, and she's not worth thinking about. God help her, that's what I say, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. But you know, there's people out there like that, and you know, you just have to let them be.
Yeah,
that's what they're
please everybody, and
yeah, that's it. You know, that's how they are. You know, and
sure. Yeah, you don't walk on eggshells, but.
Yeah, but I walk a bit every day, and I have a bicycle that I got a big bicycle, a fine big bicycle, and I have that in the other room, and I do that. At the minute, as I said, the fact that my toe with the infection has me put back a bit, but we'll get over that. That'll pass, and we'll get over it, and we'll keep moving forward. You know.
Absolutely.
So I see Salute up there. You know, Salute, I should say. Yeah. She is something else, isn't she? Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's a delight, and you've got.
She is a delight.
Yeah, and I'll go back here. There's a couple. There's so many comments, but there's one. So Helen O'Shea.
Oh yes, she's a girl here in town. Yeah.
Yeah, she just well done, Delia. I know. And happy birthday. And then was it your niece or somebody here was making a nice comment to you that you're just a wonderful aunt. From Kathy, Aunt Delia.
Oh, Kathy, yes. She'd be my first, what will I say, I was going to say grandchild. She'd be the first grandchild born into the O'Connor side, my sister's side, as we say, my sister's family.
Okay. Yeah. And there's people.
In fact, she was here this morning, and she has. Can you see the lovely flowers there?
Oh, nice.
Yes, wow. Herself and her sister brought. Yes.
Well, that's very nice. Yeah,
yes,
you've got fans out here from Athens, Greece, the UK, obviously over in the United States, all over the place. And you can go through and look at these comments later, and you know they're all wishing you happy birthday, and
How nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
People are so good, as I said, and I've met such lovely people on the Facebook that, you know, and everybody is so willing to help everybody. It is just wonderful. It's, you know, I try to tell people, stroke people about being on Facebook, but a lot of them, you know, have the fear of going on Facebook, but I try to explain to them that there's a lot they can learn as well in different, do you know, but
absolutely, so much support.
you know, that's it. But again, you can only, there's a, what you call it here, what did they say? You can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. Isn't that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's absolutely true. So much.
Yeah.
Yep. And
you know,
I haven't really read all the comments, but I've been putting them up on the screen. But Yvonne from Athens says, so refreshing to listen to you, makes me miss my family. And then Salute is saying she met you in September 2020.
Oh, on Facebook.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. But yeah, even though you would think with Salute and we say Lord have mercy on Tom, you'd feel you have met them because they're such lovely people. But Lord have mercy on me, you'd feel, you know, he has such a lovely smile, and you'd feel you had met them because they just give that feeling, wouldn't you? You know.
Absolutely. And Serena, she's from in Nova Scotia, Canada. She says you're delightful.
Oh, so good, so nice.
Yes. So well, I appreciate you taking the time to come on here and sharing your story. It's such a, I don't want to say a breath of fresh air, or just your attitude about everything.
Well, thank you, Jerry. But as I said, if you can help anybody, as I said, the main thing is for me anyway, for, you know, especially young people, there's so many young people now having strokes.
Right.
And, you know, that they're not, you know, that they need to be aware themselves that, you know, or their family, that when they do go into hospital, to ask the right questions.
Yes.
Because like that, a lot of medical people are not, I won't say willing, but they're not up to date or whatever it is with things. You know, you're lucky if you meet somebody, you know, that's up there, as we say, that has the interest and all the rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've got to be an advocate for yourself.
Yes. Well, you have to be, you know, as I said, I was very lucky to have that. Like, I would have been an advocate for the people I worked with for years. But I was very, very lucky with my family, because like that, as I said, I would be gone only for them, you know.
Right.
So I am very, very lucky, and I am very, very grateful to them, and they all know how much I love them. You know, always have and always will. And I know that they all love me, and they're the best. And
absolutely. Good for you. You've got a great family. Sounds like today's going to be a great birthday.
Well, look, it's a great birthday once you're alive.
Yeah.
People talk about age, and I'm 67 today. I'm quite happy. I'm delighted to be 67. I lost 2 sisters that didn't get to the 60. I lost my father very young, and I lost my mother in her 60s. I have 1 brother left, and he is like myself, doing the best he can to wait around as long as we can, and to show our nieces and nephews and our own families that yes, look, we'll hold on. And you know, that's what it's all about, and living a good life, and doing the best we can, and enjoying it.
Absolutely.
And enjoying, you know, enjoying our family, and enjoying the simple things of life.
Yes, yeah, appreciate them.
Appreciate them, yeah. But as I said again, you know, people don't appreciate, including myself, until something happens.
Right. What's the carpet's ripped out from your feet. And then you think, wow, I need to appreciate these things, little things, the plants or anything, just able to talk. Right. Expressive aphasia. That's what we were.
That's right. Yes, yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I know that Paul Cummins is doing great work there. I passed his name on there recently to a lady in Cree that I don't know whether she'll either get onto his videos or whatever to help people with aphasia.
Yes.
You know, I know myself, there's a little bit of it, but I'm doing awful well, as I said, and I know I am. Like when I look back, and when I came home here and I was in a wheelchair, and we say on the way in my hall, well, we'll say I got it painted there before Christmas, but it was all banged where I'd be in the wheelchair trying to be getting the, you know. But to think now, as I said, you know, I'm still very slow on my feet, but I'm on my feet.
Right.
And, you know, and I'm working towards, as I said, getting stronger and, you know, and I will with the help of God, as I said. God is good and, you know,
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Jerry, and it's lovely talking to you and to all the group, and thank you very much.
And thank you all for being here and watching and chiming
Thank
in
you.
here. I appreciate it. So you can hang on 1 second, and thank you
All
again,
right,
everybody. We'll talk to you all later. Thank you.